Hey there, everybody, and I'm back with another live chat. Fingers crossed this one goes well and smoothly. After last week's debacle, I was furious about that. I was really looking forward to doing this chat last week, and due to a little mistake that I had made on my end of selecting the wrong what's it called? Selecting the wrong option to set up the live stream. I I failed miserably on that attempt. Today, I'm actually using a different laptop today. So, fingers crossed, it all goes well. Like I said before, I was super excited to try and be able to do this chat last week, and it fell through. I wasn't happy about it, but hey, here we go. Let's see how we go today. Matthias, mate, it's great to see you in the chat. I hope you haven't been waiting there too long. But if you can at the moment, just give me like a sound and video check. How's it seeming to you at the moment? So I'm just going to play around with a few things. Sorry. Okay, yep. Okay, I've got all these little options to play around with here. All good. All right. So, all right, it's all good. Very clear sound and image with no lag. All right, awesome. The only thing that I might be a bit worried about at the moment is that I think I may have to invest in a new webcam. I'm just using the one that's running on the laptop at the moment, and I can tell at the moment this side of my face I look like a snowflake. I am highly reflective at the moment. So I don't know. It's kind of making things worse, isn't it? All right. Stuff it. I'm going to leave it at that, and let's get started. Okay, so what I was wanting, the whole purpose of this chat that I've been that I wanted to touch base on was as a whiskey tuber, I'll say as a whiskey tuber, what are our responsibilities, say, to the community, whether that be the whiskey community or just the general public and the YouTube scene in general. I'm sure a lot of you have probably noticed recently, I think especially after Eric Waite made his video about some of the YouTube guidelines and how that could affect what we do. Because the YouTube guidelines state that really we're not allowed to be promoting alcohol, but there are loopholes there. So, and it's trying to find that right balance between I think the main thing that we have to try and do is to try and find that right balance between just drinking alcohol, which I'm sure a lot of people think that's all we do is just drinking alcohol, and actually promoting a safe community and whiskey drinking environment. And I think that's one of the things that we really need to focus on, and that should be one of the main parts of what we do as a community. So first of all, I kind of just wanted to get this part out of the way. I mean, obviously, one of our roles as a whiskey tuber, or say if you're in any type of reviewing, and that is to be as honest and subjective as possible. We are reviewing products where we are giving our own opinion on, and for a lot of people, you're either going to agree with what that person has to say or you're going to disagree with what that person has got to say. I think the main issue there is really just to be as honest to yourself as possible. Let's say, for example, I've got this little bottle of the Glenfiddich 15 here. I might quickly pour myself a dram of that. Just got to be careful with the cork. Just like how you noticed in your Legic video that I watched yesterday, Matthias, how the cork was breaking. I've got the same issue with that as well. And this is also a little tiny cute cork as well. This is just a 200 ml sample bottle, and like I thought, yeah, that's awesome. The cork is so cute. Yeah, so obviously we need to be as honest about our reviews as possible, regardless of whether people are going to be happy about that. And the other issue would be as well is how will the distillery themselves, if any of their reps or someone from the distillery watches our reviews, and we might trash their products. I mean, as scary as that might seem, I mean, eventually that will happen. One of these people will most likely watch one of our videos sometime, and they'll be like, "Well, this idiot didn't like our product. Let's sue him," or something like that. But no, I don't think they would go to that extent. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, honest reviews, I think that pretty much covers that. The other big aspect, Matthias, you're saying that you try to tag distilleries whenever I give an opinion on their products. Yeah, I think that's a very good idea as well. It's not that we're trying to hide anything, is it? As I keep saying, I think our honest opinion is what we are trying to give. Either the person watching that is either going to agree or disagree. As you'll know, you'll either get a thumbs up or a thumbs down in your comments. But I think that is definitely a good practice. I know whenever I'm adding my tags to my videos, I also tag distilleries as well. So I think definitely a good habit to get into. Now, I think probably one of the big issues that we face as well with doing these whiskey reviews is that I know frustratingly enough, I've unfairly copped this a lot. And I'm sure, say, Matthias, you probably have at some stage. And I guess any of you watching this video in the replay have probably experienced this as well. Oh, you're drinking. Look at this guy. He's doing whiskey reviews. This guy's an alcoholic. Or look at all the look at all the whiskey this guy has sitting on his shelf. This guy is definitely an alcoholic. They have problems. They need an intervention. And that is so frustrating because that is such a massive misconception of what we are about. One, we are not alcoholics. We review alcoholic products. Yes, we enjoy and we love drinking an alcoholic product. But does that make us alcoholics? No, it doesn't. All that does is just makes us people with an interest in an alcoholic beverage, and that's what we enjoy. It is a product that we love, that we want to share with the world, or say with our neighbors, with our friends, our family, whoever. But again, I have noticed there is that little bit of a stigma attached to it, and that's something that I know I try to like steer people away from. It's like, no, we are not alcoholics. We do not abuse what we do. I say that's just the way it is. I mean, unfortunately, if these people are going to take what we do and see it as alcoholism, well, unfortunately, everybody is entitled to our own opinions, and I guess YouTube is a perfect example of that. I mean, here I am now having you guys in the chat room listening to my opinions. So I guess we can be a bit hypocritical at times, but yeah, we don't mean to. That's just the way it is. Um, sorry, throat's getting a bit dry. I agree with you there, Matthias. I don't see this could be a different thing from country to country and culture to culture as well. I don't know how it is in Denmark, but I know in Australia, unfortunately, we don't really have a very positive alcohol culture. Um, it's unfortunately for us, we got one of those like one of those things where people go out to a pub or a bar, wherever they go, they get drunk, fights happen. Unfortunately, I've noticed this is a bit of a similar thing that happens with, say, in the US and the UK, and it's a very unfortunate thing because that is not, say, drunken behavior is not something that we are trying to promote. My bourbon journey. Welcome to the chat, mate. How are you? It's great to see you here. Thank you very much for joining us. Um, yeah, as I mentioned, I said we've got this. So you're saying Denmark is built on drinking. We drink to anything. We can buy spirits and beer in practically every store here. Look, I understand that, but do you personally find that alcohol is a problem in Denmark? I mean, I know, say for example, when I went to Japan 2 years ago, you've got vending machines out on the streets that sell alcohol. And the only people that I ever saw walking up to these machines were legal aged adults. You did not see children or, say, young teenagers going up to them. There's no, so you did not see any, say, drunken behavior from young people. So I think, unfortunately, it's just the way people are exposed to alcohol as well. Like if you take, say, a lot of European countries, for example, uh, it's not uncommon for, say, young children, say, if you're in a family environment, you're sitting at the dinner table, the family's all together. Here, son, here's a little glass of wine for you, or here's a small glass of beer, or whatever the thing may be. And I think the good thing about that is that, one, you're not abusing a product, but you're also taking you're taking the fascination of the product away from, say, the young person that you're giving the beverage to. Like, I know for me, when I was a kid, my mum and dad, if I say, look, mum, can I have a little sip of your wine, or dad, could I have a little sip of your beer? Um, yep, son, no worries, here you go. And that was it. So for me, when I grew up in Australia, the legal drinking age is 18. I never wanted to go out and get royally smashed or drunk, trashed, hammered, whatever the word you might want to use for that. Um, because not that I had been drunk before, but I had tried alcohol. I had gotten it out of my system. I knew, okay, yep, that's what beer tastes like. Yeah, big deal. That's what wine tastes like. Cool, I've had it. I never wanted to actually go out behind my parents' back and get absolutely trashed. Like, they could actually trust me to go out to a party with a group of friends or whatever, and knew I would come home sober, because, one, that's just the way they brought me up. Where, unfortunately, from what I've noticed, say in Australia, for example, as I mentioned, the legal drinking age is 18. So you come of age, a lot of people may not have had any alcohol experience before they've turned of age, and then they just go crazy because there's something, oh look, we can finally experiment, we can finally do this, let's just get plastered because we can. And then you have the other perspective there of underage drinking. Parents who don't let their children, I think, sample a few things here and there, pretty much create their little monsters, if you know what I mean. Their kids are going to want to rebel and try all these things before they are legally supposed to, and then that just causes more trouble. So that brings me to another point. Actually, I agree with you 100% there. We should definitely not encourage underage drinking. And that is something that I've also considered with the videos as well. Look, as whiskey tubers, we are promoting and we are advertising to a certain degree alcoholic products. One, should we personally set an age restriction for our viewers, or is that something that maybe YouTube should just have as a pre-warning, I guess, for a pop-up message to come up onto the viewer, whoever may be viewing the video. Look, should they have a message that pops up saying, look, this video contains mature content or alcohol-related content? Tick a box to proceed if you are of legal age in your country. Personally, I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that would probably be a good way to do things. I don't know if any of you agree with me, but at the same time, I think that will also, I mean, it's not a sure fix, but I'm sure that could have a bit more of a positive outcome or outlook onto the way the general public sees what we do, that we are trying to be responsible, that we do have this commitment to a safe community. Hi there, Alan. How are you, mate? Good to see you. I'm actually drinking tea at the moment, so we'll get into the good stuff a little bit later on. And again, as I was mentioning before, say general drunkenness, it's not something that we promote. I mean, I think everybody that I have spoken to, at least in the whiskey community, whether it would be on say fellow whiskey tubers or on Instagram, Twitter, whatever, that's not how we want to be perceived. We do not want to be considered, say, drunk and unruly, or all we're doing is promoting a drunk society, because that is not the fact. We simply want to promote a product that we love and enjoy. So Matthias is saying, when there's a problem with the way it is now, we can consider to make adjustments, but don't fix something that's not broken. Yep, that's also true. I mean, we do have these systems in place. Look, they do work, but I think there are some measures that also need to be taken to perfect things. I mean, I know we don't want to restrict our viewership and things like that, but to be honest, like with the system that I just mentioned, I personally don't think it would restrict us too much. I mean, if you think about it, really, the vast majority of the people that watch our videos will be of legal drinking age in their respective countries. I know, and especially with whiskey. I mean, obviously, whiskey is it is getting a much younger following now, but it wasn't that long ago where it was considered an old person's drink to a certain degree. So, thank you for joining us, My Bourbon Journey. I hope you enjoyed yourself. and I look forward to seeing one of your next live chats. Keep up the great work. Cheers, mate. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think we just want to have fun. And one thing that I had noticed, I was actually watching what's Antonio from. Sorry, excuse my stutter. I was just. So you're saying, Matthias, you worked. Honestly, I worked at a school once where the kids found out I had a channel, and I actually deleted that channel because it felt wrong. They would watch it for fun. Um, okay, so like I understand where you're coming from. Um, yeah, that's an interesting thing there. That I would probably feel more uncomfortable if I felt that that whatever the channel was about was not suitable for. Uh, yeah, for me, I think the only thing that would make me feel uncomfortable about that would be that if the content that I'm putting out is probably not really appropriate for the kids, then that would obviously be a big issue. But I can also understand um, what you're saying there. It's almost like trying to separate your personal and private life as well from, say, from the things that you do. So that's an interesting topic there as well. Uh, so again, coming down to the whole like aspect of say drunken behavior and things like that. Recently, watching one of Antonio from the Whiskey Quest, watching one of his recent videos. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but definitely get a chance to. I think it was his 5 ways of drinking whiskey. And one of the things that he mentioned in that video was that, look, and he said, choose your poison. And um, and that was purely because if you think about it, alcohol is a poison. I mean, we shouldn't be, to a certain degree, we shouldn't be drinking it. I mean, we are lucky that our bodies are able to process it, but we are drinking these products from, say, anywhere from 40% and up. I mean, we get to a certain point in our whiskey drinking journey where 40% doesn't feel like anything to us. But when you consider, say, that the average alcohol volume of, say, beer or wine is ranging, say, from 3 to 4% up to about 14%, that's a big jump when you get up into the more harder spirits, whether it will be vodka, say, tequila, whiskey. I mean, those are all pretty much starting at 40%, and that is a high number. Um, I mean, we all go on about that 40% ABV is not strong, that or that we wish that it was higher because you can get more flavor. But to the general public, they're seeing you just drinking. Oh man, they're drinking a 40% alcohol product. Again, they're alcoholics. It's not that. Say they're just trying to get drunk, and obviously you can get very drunk on a 40% product, but that's where we come in. I think as whiskey tubers, I think this is the aspect that we promote the most, and it's the aspect of our community that I enjoy the most, and that is a safe community. It's safe drinking practices. Um, I have never seen anybody in our community promoting drunkenness and say bad behavior. Uh, we promote an enjoyment of a product, and I think that, and say the coming together of a community, and I love that aspect because all we want is just for people to generally have a good time and enjoy what it is that they're doing. Uh, Sorry, guys, I'm getting lost for words at the moment. I had this all planned in my head, and now I'm just kind of rambling on. Um, yeah, yeah. So again, we have this community that is just so supportive of each other. That's one thing that's one thing that I've actually really loved about the Whiskey Vault. The fact that they do their dry weeks every quarter of the for every quarter of the year. I mean, I personally have not participated in a dry week that they do, but I think the concept of what they do is just absolutely incredible. They are putting it out there that yes, sometimes we do need to take a break from this. That if you are starting to feel that your drinking may be starting to become a bit of a problem, that yes, you should just, you know what, take a step back, um, say put the whiskey aside with alcohol, put it aside for a week or however long you want, and just allow your body time to rest. Um, and there is nothing wrong with that. I mean, I know for myself, look, I generally have a whiskey a day. Personally, I don't see that as a problem. But every now and then, I start to think, you know what, Andrew, you don't feel like having a whiskey today, so don't have one. Have something else instead. Have a tea, water, juice, whatever. We do have more options out there. So I think we always need to find that right balance in our lives, and also to um, help to promote that balance onto other people. I'm not saying to get outright preachy with everybody to say, look, you have to do things this way or that way, and my way is right and your way is wrong. It's just more so acknowledging what you're doing, and just taking that time just to, I guess, cleanse yourself to a certain degree. Um, and you're right, Matthias, what we do is built on a foundation of respect for what we are drinking. That's 100% right. We are not the type of people that try to abuse. We do not go out to abuse the product that we are consuming. We understand that that's not what it's for. We drink our whiskey for the respect of the time and effort that it takes to create this magnificent product. I mean, take for example, I've got this bottle of the Glenfiddich 15. I mean, 15 years is a long time. I mean, I can't even imagine having to wait 15 years to make a product like this. I would be too impatient. I don't think I would make a very good. Uh, yeah, I don't think that I could ever be a whiskey distiller or a maker, because I just wouldn't have the patience for it. So Alan is saying, I'm watching live streams all over the world at all hours of the day, and sometimes back to back, and having drams with them all. Or Alan, I do the same. I mean, look, I haven't had a sip yet. I was just about to now. Um, at the moment, it's 7:28 a.m. At the moment, um, I'm having a chat with you guys here, and look, and I'm having a dram, say at this time in the morning. Yes, it is early. A lot of people obviously would consider that this is probably not a good thing to do, but at the same time, it's not as if I'm pouring myself a whole bottle. I'm just pouring a little bit, and I'm enjoying a dram with friends. Or at the same time, if I'm reviewing a product for you guys, it's the time of day that I have to do this. So I'm not trying to say justify my reasons for drinking whiskey early in the morning, but that's just how it is. I mean, I'm wanting to do a live chat at this time, so I can focus on the European time zone at the moment. So unfortunately, that's what happens. So I raise my glass of Glenfiddich 15-year-old to you guys in the chat at the moment and to whoever may be catching this on the replay. Cheers. Oh, that's fantastic. Brilliant stuff. Yeah, so I think at the moment I've pretty much covered what I wanted to. I think at the moment I've pretty much covered what I wanted to cover in this topic. Unfortunately, when everything was much fresher in my head last week, when I was wanting to do this chat, I had a feeling that it probably would have turned out a bit better, that it might not have seemed as if I'm babbling on all too much. But I hope that I've been able to put across what I'm trying to say, and that you're actually able to understand what it is that I'm trying to say without sounding like a total like preachy bastard, because that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to be preachy in any way, or I'm not trying to force my point of view. These are just points and aspects that have come to mind in recent weeks with a lot of the discussion that's been going on recently. And yeah, these are just things that have been stewing in my head. I'm just trying to think what can we do, but also what is it that I can do to help to promote the positive side of what we do, and to try and take away as much as possible the negative aspects of what people think that we do, because like I've mentioned before, what people think we do and what we actually do are two completely different things. I mean, I'm sure there are probably a lot of people out there that might come across our videos and think that look, that we probably do have a problem, that we need help, but that's not that's not the case at all. I actually remember recently speaking. Actually, I posted up a comment on Facebook. I think it was in Castmates Whiskey Society page of what do you guys feel is our responsibility as whiskey tubers to the community? And one of the things that Vin from No Nonsense Whiskey actually brought up was it's more so the way we present ourselves as well. Like, if we are doing these reviews, we need to make sure that obviously we ourselves are presentable, that we are not getting drunk, or so that we're not getting drunk and unruly in our own videos, that we are advertising a luxury product and say this is what we enjoy and this is what we love to do. So look, at the moment, I think I've covered, as I mentioned, I think pretty much everything that I needed to, or that I was wanting to say anyway. For now, I am actually enjoying this nice Glenfiddich 15, which I might actually step away from the start of this discussion. I think I've spoken enough about that. And I might talk about now, if you guys don't mind, some of the things that I have going on and some of the plans that I have for reviews upcoming in my channel. So I don't know if also, how is it at the moment, Matthias? The Glenfiddich 15 is going really well. It is a very nice whiskey. I am actually currently working on editing my review for the I am currently working on editing my review of the Glenfiddich 15. I'm not sure. I think you've seen it already. I've already posted my 12-year-old review. So that's up and ready to go. As I just said, I'm now working on editing the 15, and I've also got the 18-year-old as well. That's been that's waiting in line to be edited and posted. So if all goes well, I'm hoping that within the week, I will have the Glenfiddich 15 review up and ready. Actually, one thing that I got really excited about yesterday, I actually found a Loch Lomond 3-bottle mini set of just the little 50 ml bottles, which had the Loch Lomond Reserve, the 12 and the 18. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. So pretty much at the moment, what I'm aiming with for doing reviews for my channel is doing like mini set reviews. So as I've said, I've completed the Glenfiddich set. I've recorded all of those. Again, just waiting to edit and post them. The other ones that I have up and coming will also be a Jamison set. I have Glengoyne, which that one I'm really, really looking forward to. After all the chatter that I hear about Glengoyne especially from Alan and say from Roy Aquavitae, I was so excited to find those mini bottles, because unfortunately the full-size bottles in Sydney, they are a bit hard to find, and if you do find them, again, our major problem that we have is the price point. They can be quite expensive. So I was able to get a good tasting set for a good price, and I'm very happy about that. What else? Unfortunately, I didn't do this for the whole St. Patrick's Day period. I have also got a Teeling set. So I could have had that up with the Jamison set for St. Patrick's Day, but with with how unorganized I can be and how long it takes me to do things, I don't think I was going to. There was no chance I was going to be able to get those products out. It's taken me probably about I've had the Glenfiddich set. I've probably had that going on now for almost 3 months. And I only just got around recently to doing the reviews of that. Frustratingly, it took me way too long, but unfortunately, I'll say, as I've said before with some of my other videos, with my work, I hate using this as an excuse, but it does make it hard for me to put out the content as quickly and frequently as I would like. So I think at the moment, what I'm trying to do is just record multiple review sessions at once. Again, the advantage of having the 3-bottle mini sets is that I've got those 3 samples there. I can shoot out quick reviews. The good thing is about, say, with these ones that I've done, I think I've actually been able to keep them under the 7-minute mark, which is good for me, because I think my reviews have generally gone about 10 to 15 minutes. And I think, and that has been the actual good thing about doing these live streams. I've noticed it's actually helped me to improve on doing quick snap reviews rather than really taking a long time. And I just feel that I'm able to get notes faster than what I used to. So I feel that the live chats have definitely helped with that. Obviously, as well, my palette itself has most likely improved, so I can pick out notes a lot faster than what I used to, which I think is a good thing for helping me to get these videos done in a much more timely fashion. Sorry, guys, I'm going to read these comments. Matthias is saying, like a mini distillery tour. I love that concept. It's great to have something unique on one's channel that sets one apart to stand out. But that was exactly my thoughts on with getting these mini sets. I described it to myself exactly like that. It's like having a mini distillery tour. I mean, obviously, I'm not the first one to do it. So many other people have done them as well before. It's just that now I'm getting my chance to do them, and I really am looking forward to it. I say when I was so, I guess, happy with myself, I kind of saw it as a little achievement for finally getting these Glenfiddich ones out of the way. So I gave myself a pat on the back for that. Um, Again, so Alan, you're saying Loch Lomond's are awesome. Yes, they are. I've only had the 12-year-old, and I polished that bottle off in no time. What that is a absolutely remarkable whiskey. I loved it. With that one, I had gone into one of our bottle shops, and I had never seen Loch Lomond before. They had the display up on the shelf for it, and I think the shopkeeper there, he came up and asked, "Look, would you like to try a sample of it?" And obviously, we aren't going to turn down free samples. I mean, we'd be crazy too, right? So yeah, I got to try a free tasting of Loch Lomond 12, and I've been in love with that dram ever since. I've actually, uh, no, damn, I don't think I was able to add that into my infinity bottle. Okay. Um, Alan, you are also asking, am I able to receive samples there? Within Australia, I am. To be honest, I haven't looked into I haven't looked into the actual say international, say receiving internationally. So that I'm not 100% sure on. I think we are, um, but again, it's something that I'll have to look into. I haven't looked into, say, receiving international samples at the moment. I have tried looking into sending out samples, and I think we do have a bit of restrictions, obviously, due to, say, the countries that you may be sending to. I mean, America is a major pain, obviously. I think it's almost, I'll say, excuse me, it's pretty much illegal to, I think, to send alcohol to the US by mail. I think you can do it by courier service, but by the general post, yeah, the American laws are ridiculous. No worries, Alan. When I get a chance, I'll definitely do that. And I will have to see if there's things, if I'm able to send to the UK as well, because I know there are some things that I would like to be able to send to you as well. I have tried looking in there. There's been a few things that I've been wanting to try and send out to Caskmate Matthias as well. I'm trying to understand the laws of Denmark's uh, say alcohol laws for postage, and I think I am able to. I think as long as everything is packaged correctly, I don't think it's a problem. The only thing that I'm a bit concerned about, though, is that some of the websites that I had a look at did mention that there can be a high risk of, actually, Matthias, you'll be able to answer this for me. One of the things that I had come across in reading on some of these websites is that often, apparently, there can be high risk um, there can be high risk of mail theft, especially with say smaller packages and things like that. Apparently, there's been quite a few instances of people trying to send things and they don't always turn up as they were originally sent. I mean, I know that happens everywhere. But again, it's one of those things that I want to make sure that I can send something and know full well that you will get what I'll be sending to you. Um, a lot of the places were actually recommending that pretty much as long as you have a tracking number on the package, then you shouldn't have any problems. Everything should go smoothly. So yeah, I'll when I get the chance, Alan, I'll definitely send you over some details and see what we can do. I, I, I don't want to spoil too much about this whiskey. I pretty much want to wait for my review to come out so you guys can see what I have to say about this. But I must say, when I did the lineup, because I did record my reviews back to back of the three Glenfiddichs, so the 12, 15, and 18. The 15 was the downside in the batch. Comparing them back to back, it was definitely for me the weakest in the set. But having said that, as a standalone, I say as a standalone whiskey by itself, this is actually really enjoyable. This is something that I would consider to have sitting on my shelf if I was not doing a comparison with the other the other Glenfiddichs. Alan, you're asking me, is this the French oak? Mate, to be honest, I'm not 100% sure. All I know is that it's the 15-year-old Solera. So whether that has been done in the French oak, I'm not sure. But I don't think so. I think this is just the Solera casks. To be honest, yeah, I'm sure. I've never noticed if there is specifically a 15-year-old French cask. We obviously don't have that here available to us in Sydney in our stores, unfortunately. But I would like to try it. But yeah, it is definitely the Solera cask. All right, everybody. I think I've I've tortured your eardrums enough for today. Uh, I guess now there are a few things that I'm going to have to go to, work calls. I'm going to have to start getting into doing some work now. Um, Anthony, you made it at the end. Uh, how was your? So I was actually just about to sign off. How did you go with your say with the? Man, I can't talk. How did you go say with the whiskey festival, man? Did you have a good time? I think now I've just been rambling on way too much. I can't even form words anymore, and I've only had this much. I swear, that only that much. Oh, you did the whole set. Wow, mate, you're a machine. I think if I had done that, that would have knocked me on my ass. I don't. So I think what is that? About seven. Yeah, that is about seven whiskeys, I think, altogether. Damn. Uh, well, I think the only one that I've got at the moment is, and it's really the only one that I'm interested in, is the Lagavulin 9. I can't remember what the house is. Unfortunately, I'm not a Game of Thrones fan. I just bought the whiskey because it's um, again, it's the age statement Lagavulin. So yeah, that was pretty much the only reason why I bought that, and that's a solid dram. Definitely one that I will be reviewing sometime down the track. So again, something to keep an eye out on. Yeah, actually. Um, Actually, Alan, where would be the best place send our details to you? Do you have an email address, or again just contact you through the social media outlets? Okay, yep, Twitter or Facebook, no worries. Anthony, mate, we definitely look forward to seeing that footage that you have to put out. So, and keep up the great work. Again, to all of you guys in the chat, I just want to give you all just a quick shout out. Say New Dram, Anthony, Matthias at Caskmates, Alan, Whiskey Friend. Your content lately, guys, have been absolutely has actually been fantastic. I've really been enjoying the content that you guys have been putting out. Alan, your reviews are stellar all the time. I love your reviews. Matthias, your new concept that you're doing now with your infinity bottles, it's beautiful. Keep up the excellent work. And Anthony, you're starting off. Your content is solid so far. Mate, I really look forward to seeing what else you're to see what else you're going to be putting out. I really need to actually sit down and watch properly your latest video that you had done. Unfortunately, most of the times, I pretty much more so listen to the videos, especially when I'm driving. I'll set up the playlist and just let the videos play, and I'll listen to them. But I'm definitely going to have to sit down and watch properly. I would say that last video that you had done. The only thing is, I wish that you had done it as a voiceover. I think that would have been great. The last drop. Thanks for joining us, mate. Great to see you here. Good job on your live chat that you did the other day. Very enjoyable. Okay, so guys, I'm hitting the I've just hit the 52-minute mark. I'm going to call it a day. Again, like I said, there's some things that I need to do. So I'll leave it at that. I'm going to finish off this last dram of the Glenfiddich 15. Again, actually, I'll do the usual sign off. Again, if you're watching this on the replay, thank you for joining me. Guys, thank you so much. For those of you who are in the chat at the moment, thank you so much for coming in. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me prattle on. And again, if you're catching this on the replay, if you're new to the channel, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely hit that bell notification so you can stay up to date and get those notices of when I do these chats or post up a new review. I look forward to seeing you all again soon. Kirpis.